Okay, you get it. Sugar and refined carbs are a problem for insulin resistance. Maybe you've cut out the soda. Maybe you skipped dessert. Maybe you've removed sugar altogether from your diet. But what if I told you that focusing only on sugar is like trying to put out a house fire by blowing on a match? You're missing the bigger blaze. You can be strict with sugar and you can still be deeply insulin resistant. Why is that? Because insulin resistance is actually a multi system failure. Today, we're going to go on a mission, a detective mission, to uncover the five silent saboteurs, the hidden drivers that are undermining your metabolism, often without even realizing it. These are the reasons you might still feel stuck. I'm Belinda Dow, a registered clinical dietitian. Welcome to my channel. Let me break down the science for you. Driver number one is chronic stress. When you're stressed about work, about money, about relationships, your body can't tell the difference between a looming deadline and a saber-toothed tiger. It activates the same ancient survival program. The HPA axis is what we call it. This releases cortisol into as your main stress hormone. It's your main stress hormone. It releases cortisol into the blood. Cortisol's prime directive is to do what? It's to mobilize energy for fight or flight. One of its key commands is actually to your liver. Tells your liver release your stored glucose, glycogen into the bloodstream. We need it now because we're there's something stressful going on. We're getting chased by a tiger. So you're not running though. You're just sitting at your desk. You're panicking over a spreadsheet, and now you have blood sugar spikes without having eaten a single carbohydrate. Your pancreas has to answer with insulin. Chronic stress means that there's unnecessary cortisol driven glucose spikes that happen all day long, constantly whipping your insulin response like an overworked horse. It's what we call metabolic panic 24/7. Number two is about sleep. This isn't about feeling groggy. This is the direct metabolic insult. Study after study shows that restricted sleep for 5 to 6 hours for just 1 week can actually induce pre diabetic state in healthy adults. How? Again, cortisol. Poor sleep elevates evening and nighttime cortisol. It's disrupting the natural rhythm and contributing to what we call the false alarm glucose dump. Okay, direct insensitivity. It's sleep deprivation is directly reducing your cell sensitivity to insulin. It's like putting a layer of grease on the logs. The insulin key has a harder time turning. Um, with poor sleep, this is also disrupting your hungry hormone and your full hormone. So your hungry hormone skyrockets and your full hormone plummets. You wake up ravenous, specifically for high carb, high calorie foods. So it's not laziness, it's actually your brain seeking emergency fuel after a very metabolically stressful night. Okay, think of stress and poor sleep as a tag team. One keeps your blood sugar artificially high, and the other makes your cells resistant to cleaning it up. It's a metabolic storm. Driver number three is seed oils and inflammatory fats. This one is insidious because it's marketed as heart healthy. I'm talking about the industrial seed and vegetable oils, such as soybean, corn, canola, sunflower, safflower oil. These are all nearly in every packaged food, in every restaurant fryer, and even in healthy vinaigrettes. The problem is a twofold. One, they are very high in what we call a type of omega 6, which is linoleic acid. While we do need some omega 6, our modern diet provides an extremely unnatural ratio compared to the anti-inflammatory omega 3s. This imbalance itself promotes inflammation. Second, and more critically, these oils are highly, highly unstable. They're polyunsaturated, which means that they have double bonds that react much more easily with oxygen and heat. So when you cook with them, or or when they sit in a bottle on the shelf, they are oxidizing. They're literally you're literally consuming rancid fats. This oxidized fat enters your body and creates systematically low grade inflammation. So imagine this inflammation as a microscopic bits of rust and grime. They circulate and they settle on the delicate insulin receptors on your cells. It's actually like pouring glue into the locks. The insulin key cannot fit and it can't even turn properly. The signal is blocked at the very point of contact, swapping these out for stable anti inflammatory fats like olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, or even butter. It's not a diet trend. It's necessary, and it's a cellular cleanup operation that needs to be done. Number four, driver number four is basically lack of muscle. So we think of muscle as vanity sometimes. It's not, it's actually a vital organ for metabolism. Your skeletal muscle is your body's primary glucose disposal site. Think of it that way. After a meal, 70 to 80% of the glucose in your blood is taken up by your muscles to be used and stored as glycogen. So basically, what we're saying, more muscle mass means a larger, more efficient disposal site. It's a bigger sponge to soak up the glucose tide that's coming in. Less muscle, sometimes called sarcopenia, that's not naturally begins in our 30s if we don't fight it or if we're not active. You think of it as a very tiny, insufficient sponge. The glucose has nowhere to go, so it lingers in the blood. It demands more insulin, or it gets shipped off to be stored as fat. Muscle contraction itself during exercise, it activates glucose transporters that work independently of insulin. It's like a backdoor fuel for your cells. But more importantly, the mere presence of muscle tissue sends out beneficial myokines that improve hormone like signals like insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity. Not building muscle is like refusing to expand your city's fuel storage um, capacity, if you want, the fuel storage capacity of your city. While the fuel trucks are still, they still keep arriving, and resistance training isn't even optional for metabolic health. It's actually an essential infrastructure. Driver number five is what we call environmental obesogens. It sounds kind of sci-fi, but it's actually real. Obesogens are chemicals in our environment that can disrupt the endocrine system and function. It's going to promote fat storage, and there are two major classes of this. Um, Bisphenols like BPA, BPS, they're found in plastic containers. They're found on the linings of cans, receipts. They mimic estrogen and they have been linked to insulin resistance and increased fat cell formation. When we talk about phthalates, we're talking about perfumes, air fresheners, scented lotions, sometimes plastics. These are also known as endocrine disruptors. So these chemicals, they don't just cause weight gain by making you eat more. They directly alter your metabolism by increasing fat storage and promoting inflammation. We can't avoid them completely, but we can dramatically reduce our exposure. So let's say don't heat food in plastic. Opt for, let's say, glass, stainless steel. Choose fragrance-free personal care items, and let's say wash your hands after you buy something and have a receipt in your hand. It's not just the cookie, it's the stress you were under when you ate it, the poor sleep you got after, the inflammatory oil it was baked in, your lack of muscle to handle the glucose load, and the chemically lined wrapper it came in. Insulin resistance is the sum total of your metabolic load. The path forward is an audit. Okay, it's not a brutal restriction, but it's a strategic upgrade. Look at these five drivers. Which one is the most present in your life? Is it the chronic stress? Is it the seed oils? Is it the lack of strength training? I would say go step by step. Pick one to tackle this week. See which one is the easiest to tackle or one that affects your life greatly. Swap, let's say, your cooking oil. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier. Do maybe two body weight sessions. Small wins consistently is going to lower the total load, and it's going to allow your insulin sensitivity to recover step by step. In the comments, let me know which of these five hidden drivers was the biggest revelation for you. Number one through five. If you're ready to look beyond the obvious and you're ready to address the root causes, you are in the right place. Subscribe for our deep dive next time. And thank you for watching.